My bad. I had to pick up where I left off at. Disclaimer, fair use act, education purpose use only. All rights, image, and clips and other material belong to the respective owner, and we do not claim ownership. Trey ain't picking up where he left off at. Sorry about the inconvenience. The weather bad in my location. Look like a tornado stuff. Warning and stuff. But it's looking bad. But let's spill the tea. So we back, gang. So now we see what's going on in the footage. Now we know everybody in that basement with police officers, and watch how everybody try to sneak out the cut, act like they coming in and checking in, you know what I'm saying, and all of this. So what's about to happen is what we thought it was on that footage, Jack. We back. Hi y'all, we back. We back. So now we know why Friends Cave doing the perimeter check, because they know what's going on the lower level. Kenneka is downstairs on the lower level. Now when they come to the harvesting and all of this, I'm thinking that boom, once they got through doing what they did with the body, you know what I'm saying? Once they got through doing what they doing with the body, that's when everybody will be called to go downstairs in the basement to put her in the freezer so they can stage the crime scene. Don't that make sense? Because that's why Miss Teresa will be calling the hotel around 2 some. Since she was calling the hotel around 2 some, right? So once you think about what Larry Rogers said, it's going to be employees in the kitchen. Now he gonna say she gonna be in the kitchen with the employees. I believe that, but I don't think she was alive and walking. I believe everybody had her in a trash bag and was carrying that girl to the freezer. That's what I believe. So once they put her in the freezer, just say like, now if you see how Friends Cave on the move, now it's now if you pay attention to the time, right? This all we finna see on the footage. People coming from the area where Kenneka was, that's in the same group of the harvesting people, right? So look, y'all bear with me, because I don't know how bad the weather is, and I might get knocked off again. You see what I'm saying? So y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the heads up. I might get knocked off again, because the weather bad in the area, and they talking about a tornado warning and stuff. So now look, so this what I believe, anything what Pease and them said, this the only thing I believe what they actually said it was true. When they was in the room, they was loud, smoking, drinking, and Friends Cave kept coming to the room telling them to put a towel under the door. I believe that, but Kenneka wasn't in the room. Kenneka ain't even upstairs. You see what I'm saying? So they were just there to tell us, yeah, you know, put the towel on the door, Friends KK coming to the room. Because only thing they gonna be doing is wait to whatever they get through with the body, their job is to, okay, we done with the body, so y'all come down here and stage it, because this the narrative we gonna go along with. You know what I'm saying? She was left by the elevator. So this how the elevator story came up, right? So Miss Teresa, now check this out. And now you will understand why Miss Teresa was like the story don't make sense and didn't want to collaborate with Rosamund's story that she walked in there. Because nobody not going to believe that she walked in there. Not Kenneka. You see what I'm saying? If you go with Miss Teresa's story, yeah, you know, she left out and make it look like, you know what I'm saying, a mystery, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can get away with it. You see what I'm saying? You can get away with it. So I understand why Miss Teresa didn't want to tell everybody like what Andrew Holmes said. Just say you saw her walking in the freezer and she like, nope, I am not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? So So the trick is to have us thinking Kenneka upstairs in the room, because we finna get an Irene live video round Tucson. So think about Tucson. When you think about Tucson, think about what Larry Rogers said. There was employees in the kitchen. Kenneka was in there too, and she walked in the abandoned kitchen. And you know what I'm saying? She walked in a kitchen that was awkward. You know what I'm saying? It was still functional. But it's a bandit part in the back where she was found at. So if she walked straight back there, we know they carry her straight back there. You know what I'm saying? So it's safe to say once they place her in the freezer, from my investigation, the minute they place her in the freezer, that's when they release the Irene live video. Boom. Now you got Irene live video. Man, the views is going crazy at this point. Cause you gotta drop the Irene live video to sell it to everybody. You got to drop it as a live video. Cause that's a video they saved on the 6th or what actually happened in the room. You see what I'm saying? So when you see Friends Cave, you know what I'm saying, running on the footage, this could be September the 9th, round about this time, or this could be a little part of the 6th, round about that time. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't have all the surveillance cameras when it comes to this side of the footage. Because when he came running down here, that camera right there going to catch him. You see what I'm saying? But that camera that's right here, it don't show, it don't show everything. If you actually look at it, you could tell somebody cropped most of the footage out. They cropped most of the footage out because look how zoomed in it is. Just look at this camera. Now look, they said they was Zach TV. So boom, if this was on September 9th, round about 12 or 1 something in the morning, I will understand why they said that's Zach TV. Because they're going to need his help. You see what I'm saying? And push the narrative. You feel me what I'm saying? So boom, watch this. Friends Cave on the move. This between the hours of 1 and 2 in the morning. 1 and 2 in the morning. We don't know if this September the 9th or this September the 6th. But if he doing all that running, you know what I'm saying? It make you think a little bit. A little bit. Alright. Watch how he finna be on the move, right? And watch this footage right here. Now this between the hours of 12 and 1. This between the hours of 1 and 2. So you know what this camera's showing, and you can go back and look at this camera and be like, okay, I see what's going on now. Boom. Now look, he finna walk back down there. So boom, once he walk back down there, I'ma look at it like this here. Since he walked down there, they got this footage. So they gonna merge this. Just thinking. Just say, what if this footage was on the 6th, but they need him to walk out the lobby on the 9th, just to walk in this area, just to show this footage on the 6th and merge it with the 6th and the 9th footage. You see what I'm saying? So now look, now this the part. Now y'all see, they just came in the hotel. Look where they going, straight to the kitchen. This give me vibes that they going straight to Kenneka. They already know, you know what I'm saying, it's round about that time, but they just a little too early. Now y'all got to turn back around. We ain't ready yet. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they back there stumbling a little bit, and then they gonna come out, you know what I'm saying, through the food court hall. You feel me what I'm saying? Now look. So watch this. Boom, Friends Cave running. On the move. He on the move. Now this is Greg Hughes' narrative. Listen to Greg Hughes' narrative. Greg Hughes know the truth. Greg Hughes popped up in my chat. I knew he was going to pop up in my chat one time, you know what I'm saying, because the subject that I was speaking on, you know what I'm saying. So check this out. Boom. This between the hours of 1 and 2. So look, think about this. In 30 minutes, Miss Teresa will be making a phone call. and talking to security on the phone. So now look at him.
So right now it's 205. 206, I mean. Okay, now he goes down that other hallway there. And this is what it looks like right when you turn onto the tile there. And here he comes. Now, I think he heads to the restroom here. I actually show where that is. See, if you look at those count those pylons right there, and then he goes around right through there into the restroom. That's a restroom sign. So he goes right through there, and then a few minutes later he comes back. Now there's a door right over here that leads behind the office too into the coat room, but he doesn't, he doesn't take that one. But he does it on different occasions. So right there he walked around like this, and he's going to come out. So here he comes.
So look, that's why you got these people playing like they employees cleaning out the kitchen. These people supposed to be in uniform with name tags on. Check this out. I worked at a restaurant, and I'm going to tell you something. Don't nobody clean the kitchen but the people that work in the kitchen. The people working in this room, they're responsible for keeping everything clean and sanitized in the kitchen. So for me to see these people when the restaurant closed and the kitchen closed, it makes you think, why are these people there with brooms and mops? Then you got these same people here. Now check this out. Now show them coming in. If I was a smart man, I could cancel Kenneka out this footage and just show Shamaya, Bree, and Monifa coming in. Show Kenneka on September the 6th showing up alone. And that would make sense. Just add Kenneka in there to keep the narrative rolling. But if you exit her out on this footage, it will make a lot of sense. You got these three coming in. And then watch how Friends K will be on the move, right? Look, check it out. Boom. Now look. And watch this. Everybody suspect that you see walking on the footage. Her, all them suspects. Boom. Now y'all finna see why they had him in the reports. Him and these people. Look. Watch this. Everybody saw him in the report because I said, I want to know why he in the Kenneka Jenkins report. That didn't make no sense. But if you look, he dressed like a manager. He dressed like a manager. Blue shirt, khaki pants. Everybody told you what uniform to be looking out for. Blue shirt, khaki pants. But watch this though. It's the cold part about it. Look. So now look, this at 2 something in the morning. This between the hours of 1 and 2. Just by you seeing Friends Cave down in that area between 1 and 2. The narrative in the beginning, he supposed to have a bloody nose and walking this way to the break room. That's a lie. Cause what in his hand he got a key card. Now look where he finna come to. Check this out. This the coldest move. Where he finna go? That's where the door at. That's where the check this out. Look at it like this here. It's a door right up under this camera. It's an exit door. It's an exit where the employees will come in at. So check this out. This show you proof who would let anybody in here. Cause you got him on the footage with the key card in his hand. The YouTuber threw everybody out to me. Y'all see the blood? He blood, then he wiping his nose and all this. Nope. There was a key card. So this show your proof. this show your proof right here. If he the security and you and the security, the only one that got access to a door right here, and people coming in through this door, didn't you just see how they would come in with security? Now look at this footage. They're between 12 and 1. Now I see why they would be interested going down on the lower level. Now I see why everybody interested trying to get out of here. Look, everybody interested trying to get out of here and get away from this location. Because if you watch this footage earlier before that, the college kids, the doctors, and all these people, the whole group came from this area. So once the whole group was cleared from this area, now you finna get these bastards walking on the footage. Look. And then the lawyer said, check this out, look what Fran's cave finna go to. If when he go through those doors right there, that's the locker room. That's the locker room. So watch this. Kenneka will be found somewhere by the lockers, like what the lawyer said. Think about Larry Rogers, what he said. She was in the kitchen with employees. It don't show what happened, how she ended up in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, if you add Larry Rogers with the other lawyer story, yeah, she was found by some lockers. And boom, you be like, okay, she found by some lockers. Now y'all gave us a timestamp what will be going on in the kitchen between 2 and 3. So that means around about 2 and 3, goddamn it, they were putting a girl. They came. Look, the girl had to be once upon a time in the employee break room so they can take the girl to the freezer. Pie y'all. You see what I'm saying? Now look, all thing Miss Teresa got to do is just chill. Let them folks do her thing. But you know what I think? Miss Teresa probably think they hustle like, wait a minute. Now, I done sold y'all, you know what I'm saying, the girl about it now, but y'all done, you know what I'm saying, they just like, look, watch, I ain't gonna talk too much. I'ma just play the video. Cause remember what the lawyer said. That's why Friends came down here. That's why he down here. Man, you got access. Look, you think you finna come down here in the break room just to take a cup of water and pass up the Coca-Cola, the Pepsi, the high C punch, and sweet tea? No. Appreciate those likes, gang. Appreciate the likes. All right, now he at the break room. This between 1 and check this out. This between 1 and 2, right? Remind y'all when Leonora said, yeah, they got my sister on surveillance footage in the back of the kitchen around 113. Ooh wee. So look at it around 113. Instead of her walking in the hotel, look where she would be carrying into around at 113. And that's why Friends K will be down here giving these people access to the location. Do that make sense now? I know it do. Boom. Finna come up the stairwell, make everything look normal. You know what I'm talking about? Let me play this footage while I'm speaking. So look, trying to make everything just look normal. Like, yeah, I just come down, I was kind of thirsty. So I'm trying to parch my thirst type of shit. You know what I'm talking about? But he really just gave people the access to get to the freezer. Cause look what about to happen. Boom. Once he gave everybody access to the freezer, look who you all finna see on this footage. Watch this footage. You know what time this on the footage, but you gotta watch this one. Now this said this said 213. Now look, gang, if this was at 213, think about Miss Teresa at 2 something contacting the security when it comes to the court papers. Then look, check this out. Look, she come in. Ooh, it's going down. Ooh, look. Just said this at 213 or 313. It's still gonna tell the same story, right? All right, watch this. Boom. This why they can't prove. Look, cause now this finna make a lot of sense to y'all when they were like, well, how she come out the room then and you got everybody on the move? You can't say she came out the room at 3 something, cause look what it's showing at 3 something on the footage. You can't even say she came out the room at 2 something on the footage, cause everybody on the move at 2 something on the footage. You see what I'm saying? So that means the girl never walked these halls September the 9th. You see what I'm saying? She never walked these halls September the 9th. She was carried from the basement upstairs to the kitchen, not downstairs from the 9th floor to the kitchen. So look, they had to come up with a narrative, make it look like, look, it's the creepy security guard killed her and all of this. But if you look at the surveillance footage, look how everybody coming from the location. The whole trick was, everything that happened to Kenneka already been happened to her 36 hours ago. It's already been done. The girl was already deceased. If you look at this lady right here, you will be shocked who she actually is. You see what I'm saying? You will be appalled of who she actually is. Now look how all this finna make very much sense. You will see why Straight Drop came out with all this narratives and Photoshop images because of Miss Teresa. Miss Teresa was giving him the photos and she was working with him the whole time to throw everybody off. He on the footage. You mean to tell me Miss Teresa didn't know Straight Drop was on the footage? Who playing games here? Look, she even mentioned him. Yeah, did you help? You know what I'm saying? And that always puzzles me like, what you mean help? You sound like you know something, lady. You with this man here. So now look, boom. Check this out. Look, he ain't just coming in there. They just want you to believe with the luggage and all of this. No. Watch this. Everything going down. So look, that's why Friends K will be missing for 30 minutes. Cause this when Miss Teresa will be making the call to the hotel talking about security. And I always thought, well damn, he must went on break or something. Cause I can't find him for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes like break time to me. So that means that's when he was meeting up with Miss Teresa about cameras downstairs in the basement. You see what I'm saying? Boom. 30 minutes later. Guess what? Oh, if they was meeting up about a camera at 2-something, 30 minutes later, look where everybody going. Did they agree to cut the cameras off? Or they agree with, look, we gonna keep our cameras rolling for our sake. No, I want the cameras off. Now, you ain't finna put me in no cover up. You see what I'm saying? Now, you ain't finna put me on live camera. Because that's probably why that's probably where the argument would come in there. Man, y'all got those cameras on? Hell no, I ain't coming down there. I'll turn my mic up a little bit. Okay, cool. All right. But y'all get the point, right? This is what you finna catch. Check this out. Look how this look like now. Bree, right? With who? Kenny, her brother. With Kenny Tanya. Right? This will be at 3 o'clock in the morning. So do this. So when Kilo Brown said round 3 something, the police there, and that's when things got turned up and they met with police officers. Don't this what this look like? You see what I'm saying? Boom. Look. Braze, I'm finna block you, bro, because I ain't got time right now. I'm spilling tea. Man, please leave me alone. You ain't said no Uncle Fed was in the chat. Stop picking on me. Stop trying to bully me and stuff. Leave me alone, brother. I'm just trying to show everybody you on the footage. You just made your part. I don't even want to talk about you no more. You know what I'm talking about? You already been exposed. Ain't nobody got time for you. It's over with for you bastards. Now look, boom, French Cave on the move. This would be at 3:18. So once you look at the footage, keep this in mind. Boom, you got them in the lobby. So this gonna be at 3:20. Think about when Andrew Holmes said, yeah, she was in the lobby at 3:20. So they were gonna have this footage to make it look like that. Oh, that's when they left her in the lobby at 3:20. You see what I'm saying? At 3:20, because they went back to go get her keys in their phone. But look what would be really going on. This at 3:40. Everybody meeting up at the pool now. So look, everybody meeting up at the pool. It went from the kitchen now to the pool. Look, check it out, y'all. So boom. So if this at 3 something, so look what the lawyer said what would be going on at 3 something. Yeah, you know they got video of Kenneka walking back there. But just say they got video of everybody carrying that girl back in the freezer. This is where he going. So boom, all of this. Look, round about this time, when you go to Hell of a Chick call, the first call, round about this time, that they was already talking about a missing person report. Round about this time. This before Miss Teresa 911 call. You see what I'm talking about? What you mean inspired me? Man, you ain't inspired me to do shit. Man, you know what? Let me block you right quick. Damn! That fast? Shit! Let's carry on. Now look, Friends K, look. If this between 4 and 5 in the morning, and boom. Let's watch this footage. Boom. This between 12 and 1 then. All right. See this stuff? Boom. Perfect timing. I'm gonna mute my microphone for a minute, gang. I just want y'all to focus on the hours between 12 and 1. Cause now look what it looked like. You don't see no Kenneka at no 12 and 1. You see what I'm saying? Ooh, wee. And check this out. The footage might didn't mean nothing to a lot of people in the beginning, but guess how much it's finna mean now? Cause this between 12 and 1. Think about the narrative. Miss Teresa said, yeah, I was at the house at 11:30 because I gave her the keys to the car and stuff. So she go celebrate her her new job and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So look, boom. Look who we got coming in. Bam. It's finna go down. I believe these people just came from the basement and they finna go upstairs to the 11th floor. Once they go, look, that's where all so look, it's easy for them to say, yeah, we just gonna say y'all just making it there. Boom, look, already. See that? So have the public thinking, yeah, they just got there. Instead of, man, that's fucked up what they just did. So they finna go up to the room, drink, and smoke till they get the call round about 3. Cause that's when they actually finna go down there round about 3. So that means that's when they will be placing her in the freezer. Round about 3. Boom, shaka laka boom, Jack. Alright, now check this out. So since we already know they already got a missing person report, the police already in the making round about this time. And we just gonna say this round between the hours of 4 and 5. 4 and 5. See how Friends K can't be, look, he can't be still. Miss Teresa is up here. Everybody's still up here. That's the cold part about it, because nobody didn't leave. Everybody's still up here in this area. And boy, this word's finna go down there too. Cause check this out. Now we gotta watch this footage. Everybody focus on what this footage showed. I sped the time up too. So the time up, I got it up high as it can go. So yeah, y'all pay attention to this stuff. Look, boom. That's why Bree will be having the keys at 12 and 1 o'clock. You see what I'm saying? That's why Bree will have the keys at 12 and 1 o'clock going to get an iPhone on charger because Kenneka phone about to die. That's why she got the keys and going back to the car so they could charge Kenneka phone up to upload the video. Cause look, all this finna show you what happened an hour before they uploaded Irene live video. Ooh wee. Now look how all these people coming in. Look, boom, check it out. Look, boom, check it out. Boom, 12:55 or 1:55. You see what I'm saying? So we getting up to 2:30 when Miss Teresa wanna call up there and holler at that security guard about some cameras. So that means she wanna make sure is it legit those cameras, is them motherfuckers on or is they off at this certain point of time? And then he had the nerve to tell us this when Risco was turning the cameras off. Oh shit. Man, I need to go back to the letter because that letter finna hit fucking real different. So that means when he told us, when he all went up there and got the, oh, golly. So that means when he told these people, look, come down here, and he told everybody what they were doing in the kitchen with the body. Oh man. So they match up with the police then. So they will match up then to the police will be there at 3 something with the family, with the friends, with Friends Cave, and with the family. Boy, I got some tea on that letter now. Man, I got 1 million views on that letter alone. And look how it. Just imagine I break that motherfucker down now. So, hold up. Let me cut that chat off a little bit. So, boom. Let's peep the game on the footage, y'all. Why everybody stopping and taking something? He did the same thing T.Y. did. Picking up little chewy candies. Oh, man, what you on a walkie-talkie or something? Fuck going on? Yeah. Man, I got to hit that Friends K letter up. First, let me refresh my mind and watch the footage and keep up with the time. And once I refresh my mind and watch that footage, we gonna go back to that letter, goddammit. And we gonna body blow some shit. We gonna knock wind out of them, gang. Let's knock some wind out of them. You dig what I'm talking about? No wonder why they got these fake employees acting like, yeah, act like y'all just cleaning the kitchen and this and like we just normally do every night. No, that ain't what they normally do every night. Man, don't y'all know it was so many days and nights that I used to watch this footage and was just like, man, one day I'm gonna figure this John out because I want to know why he ain't got no uniform. Cause where I come from, bro, you can't even work if you ain't got your name tag. They'll send you home for that, bro. If you ain't got the correct work shoe boots, oh, you going home. You see what I'm saying? You got to be in proper uniform. They just like showing up at a construction site with no helmet. Like, where your hair? They like showing up at an NBA game with no helmet. Man, you can't play. So now look, it really hit me right now in this time frame, cause we know what Livernois said. Yeah, they talking about Kenneka Kenneka never entered the hotel. According to Livernois, I see why. If you looking for her, you know what I'm saying, around about this time and the time skipping, you ain't gonna see no Kenneka, right? You see what I'm saying? So it really sound like Crown Plaza outdid Miss Teresa and them, bro. They put them in the mood so cold, like, damn, y'all tried to snitch. So next thing you know, we gave you the platform just to ask you simple questions that could criminate you, and we ain't got to say nothing else. And this a prime example of that. If you go with this timestamp, living on what they said, they did see Kenneka walking in. Yeah, well, why I don't see it on this footage? She gonna have to answer to that, or play like she don't know, or ignore that, right? That's how cold Crown Plaza was. Check this out. Boom. That's why it's 2 timestamps on this shit. So look, boom. Oh, you said you last contact your sister at 120. Hold on. This finna be 15 minutes from now. So now look how Livernois really looking dumb. Oh yeah, dad, you contacted your sister and boom in the hotel saying she ain't on this camera. So you gotta tell the people what you and your sister were talking about at this, and she can't tell you because you can't talk to a person that's deceased. You can have access to her phone and type some shit and make her be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. No wonder why they would be texting. Look, when this timestamp hit 120, I know that John rolling. Oh yeah, I forgot. The time do pause on the jump, but the video still rolling. Y'all see that? Video still rolling. So look, boom. So the minute this timestamp hit 120, when Kenneka texts, well, her phone text, I'm ready to go. I want to know what this video finna show at 120. What y'all think the video gonna show at 120? What y'all think the video gonna show at 120 according to this timestamp? Cause we got to find out. Oh, okay, Livernois got that phone. Cause we see her in the room. So yeah, and Irene in the room. And Irene said she got the phone. So you know, if the suit's in the room, you know the suit's gonna take over the phone. You see what I'm saying? And so think about this. Irene live video. They released it at 120. We're 136. So think about 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Boom. Now let's see what this video gonna show at 120. And I'm gonna mute my microphone, guy. I'm gonna mute my microphone because I just want to stay focused on the footage. And you see why they will be walking in. Look, check these people out. Man, I really think I just need to add French Cave letter to this stuff. I got to. I really think I just need to add. Hold on, y'all. Let me go to my channel, to this channel right here, to my videos, to this. And I just want to stop it right there so everybody can read what's actually on the footage. So okay, boom, we got this. All right. Can y'all read the screen? Let me know if y'all can read the screen. Cause I'ma just play this video. Now I broke this letter down cause it was sent to me and stuff by me watching the footage and reading over the paperwork. You will see what my mindset was on the case. Then when I started digging a little deeper, cause I could have settled for this letter, you know what I'm saying? And once upon a time, I was finna settle for this letter. This what happened to that girl. But once I looked a little deeper, cause once I look a little deeper, bro, God never let me give up on this, especially y'all. Cause when I did a little deeper, now I see and understand this. All right, now y'all see this. This at 120. Wait a minute, I'm ready to go. So now look, I will post this 24 hours. I will no longer live. Hold on, let's play this footage when I read this stuff. Man, everybody get those lights up, cause this letter finna really expose the truth downstairs in the basement, and we know the police down there too. No wonder why this goddamn letter started song. I will post this for 24 hours. I will no longer live with this lie, and I know my actions make me a target at this point. Everyone deserves to know the truth and have closure of what happened that night at Crown Plaza, September 8, 2017. He was ordered by Lenny and David to leave for a while and book me expenses paid trip to Las Vegas at another Crown Plaza where just 33 King was at and Young Bando was at, and right down the street from Antonio and Vet apartment that's in Las Vegas, and a couple of miles down the street, Ryan Singleton body was found without his organ missing. I had to throw that in there because it's all in the same location, right? Okay. So he said they put him in Las Vegas hotel, booked all paid expenses for a few weeks till things blew over. That's like a month till they close the case, because they closed the case in October the 20th. And that's when they closed the case in October the 20th, right? They already had paperwork and narrative on the investigation. So we already had that. When they closed the case, they uploaded a whole lot of paperwork. That's why YouTuber didn't have all the paperwork at that time when they were spilling tea on each other. Because if you go back to this right quick, right? Now we just see what's going on at 120, and we know, yeah, something going on with Kenneka phone with her sister, and then we see everybody moving to the parking garage and all this. Here go look. So he said, I'm no longer working there, but the people, I don't want the people to take me online because, hold on, let me read this right, because I got my screen down. I need to blow my screen up right quick. The detectives took my statement. They did include everything in the report to the department. Rosemont Village Department is so corrupt, they would do anything to protect. It's so much to this, right? It's easy to confuse the public while the truth is being hidden beneath the lies. Check this out. I started my shift. Did my normal rounds in perimeter. Check. Risco, front desk manager, informed me multiple parties in the hotel along with normal convention that was going on that week, and there was a party on the 9th floor. Now check this out. Now, it's no doubt that somebody gonna be in room 926, not Kenneka, cause they booked the room on the 7th, right? They booked the room on the 7th, and nobody didn't check in allegedly in the room till you see Irene showed up on the footage. But if you go to the key card, somebody was in and out the room way before Irene even showed up. According to the key card. So boom, they said, look, on the 11th floor, cross-dresser guys, that's where we see French Cave on the footage hanging with the cross-dresser. On the 6th floor, a lot of guys, but no girls. Conference room were pretty busy. Now we see why the conference room, I showed y'all all the people were coming out their conference room at what particular time. Now check this out. Students, doctors, teachers, speakers, you know what I'm saying, was all alerted. Look, I was alerted by the noise complaint on the 9th floor. Now around 12 something. So boom, now you got 12 something. Think this, Kenneka not in the room. Just think about everybody else in the room, but they being too loud, smoking and drinking. Them folk like, look, y'all need to calm down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to calm down, man. Y'all act like, you know what I'm saying? So look. So around 12 something, he proceeded to go to the room and investigate the noise complaint on the floor. I believe that. And when he said he saw the red guys in the hood and all this, I believe that. Drink alcohol. Noise complaint, I really believe that. I assumed that they offered me the weed, the alcohol, and the orange girl stuck her head out the door and was like, what's the problem? And you know what I'm saying? I believe all of that on round about that time. September the 9th. He went in the room smoking, party, because you got to look at it. He going to look at it like this. Sure, this is what the camera going to show. Him getting off on the elevator, going there. Then they're going to show him interacting with the people that's in camera footage at the elevator. Now, keep this in mind. Andrew Holmes said that's where he first tracked her from the elevators by the room to downstairs. But Miss Teresa never mentioned that camera, though, did about the 9th floor camera with the court paper when they said how she came out the room. No, the Miss Teresa, they never mentioned that camera. I wasn't mentioning neither. Because they were going to show the real truth. Then boom. Then look. He said he ain't write no incident report, none of that. But Risco got a Videotech app on his phone. And he was responsible for what? Turning the cameras off. Watch this, y'all. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm finna say. Hold on, y'all. Watch this. Let's see what time he'll be turning the cameras off. Cause that's what we need to get at. Right here. Risco got a Videotech on the camera and he responsible for turning the cameras off. And then look, the girl Kenneka came outside the room, 9:26. Two friends went back in the room for the phone. Now, ain't this collaborate with Miss Teresa's story? Same thing. It's still collaborating with the lie. Oh, wait. But they didn't tell a good lie. You see what I'm saying? So look, boom. They saw on the elevators all this. So I take this 11th floor. I say everything what he's saying about the 11th floor, they will be on the 6th or what happened to her, how she came out the room. So boom, when he said they would be, look, what time this is? Oh, look at the footage. I'm glad that he popped up on the footage right there. And guess what time this is when they'll be cutting cameras off? Boy, ain't God real? So look, so he said they went to the 11th floor and the 6th floor where the monitors was cut off. I returned to the elevator, go heads up on the 6th floor, and the guys answered the door and said, and I said, I'm looking for a girl in all black. And they quickly replied, she left with some friends. Keep this in mind, right? Guess what time this going to be? Ooh wee. So if this going on at this, if this going on at this time, now we see why we got this narrative to cover up what's going on in the basement. So boom. So he was like, this when things get crazy. Cause I called Lenny and told him come to the pool and I couldn't believe my eyes. I saw the girl, you know what I'm saying? I believe y'all let on the 6th. I would believe all of that happened on the set. The girl was in the pool, and you know what I'm talking about. I really believe that girl was in that pool at some point of time till they harvest that girl to the doctors. That's how I'm gonna look at it at this standpoint. You see what I'm saying? Cause they'll give you a reason like, yeah, this time to do the autopsy, do all that, and we can cover up the murder and all that stuff. So boom. They talking about the pool. He explaining the pool. Everybody at the pool, Lennon, the maintenance man, the friend, put Kenneka in the trash bag and all of this. So all of this will be going on when the camera will be turned off around about this time. Mm-hmm. So make a long story short, that means Miss Teresa will be in the Caddyshack restaurant with one, the security guards. Cause that's gonna be at the same time Miss Teresa making a phone call to the security. No wonder why it was a big argument downstairs in that basement between the hours of 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. So he placed everybody in the pool, like Miss Teresa said. They was cleaning out the pool between the hours of 3 and 4. Should have never made that criminate evidence there. See what I'm saying? Boom. You can read it. And I'm going to read my microphone so y'all can see it for yourself. Now check this out. Now this at 154. Now you can see why is all this pausing going on with the video. You see what I'm saying? Now you see why it's a lot of pausing going on in the video. Cause they said they were turning those cameras off. That's why you ain't got no footage of the lower level, downstairs, none of this shit right now. See what I'm saying? So, boom. Look how they just popped up. So they just popped up, boom, they pop up. Right? Man, y'all see that? It just all of a sudden just kicked up a little knot. And this is an employee. Right there. Mm-hmm. So look, what the court paper was saying in so many words, if you got, the sister got a text message texting somebody in the family, I'm ready to go, that's at 120, and we see the activity that's going on on the video right about that time. And then when it come to Tucson, the court said the girl was in dire need of assistance. So when she came out the room, she was in dire need of assistance because look how the family did her in the room. In the room. Then Miss Teresa called in the hotel at Tucson. So that's what? The hotel got everything they got on Miss Teresa, what happened in the room. Cause whatever happened in the room, only thing they just gotta do to show her video is getting on the elevators where room she came out of and see how fucked up she is. That's why Miss Teresa on the 911 call. Yeah, I went on no floor. They said they saw my daughter Daryl. Never said nothing about the video. Because the average parent be like, yeah, I know she was here. It's videos online right now that's going viral. She was in the room. Her friend was saying they was in room 926. So look, now this at 202. Now this what the Crown Plaza got on Miss Teresa in so many words. Watch this. If Kenneka was in dire need in assistance, look who the last one that seen her that came out the room. Period. Right? Watch what the video was showed around about 2:30. Oh shit, speaking too soon. Hold up. Look at this. Let me mute my microphone, goddamn it, cause this footage got me so focused. Cause look, keep this in mind. Right here, we know that's the caddy shack. Nobody don't pay attention to that area. Right here. But watch the footage. And I guarantee you, I watched this footage so much, I know what this footage finna show. Round about two some. Man, if I would have had my mindset like this, you see what I'm saying? Man, we would have been did some noise in this jump, bro. No wonder why Miss Teresa didn't say nothing about the letter. No wonder. Cause they were always odd to me when I was breaking down the narrative according to how the police draw this shit up and written this shit and going to the footage trying to chase the timestamp. I didn't did number follow in they traps. Like damn, the whole narrative is really the narrative is if you look at the narrative, when they told us a lie, this the reason why you'll see them, because they searching for her. They had everybody thinking this is search. Now since we know it's not a search and what they really up to, now you see why they had a narrative of them walking her and thinking people like, well, how they searching for her? Don't nobody don't have no motions and nobody don't look like no search, because it wasn't. Cause look, the whole time everybody was focused on Kenneka group, Kenneka. But the main person that was in the group is the brother. Is the brother with him. And then all your partners down talk to your sister in front of the world. The B should have took the D and went home and told Popo she shouldn't have been around no grown ass men drinking in the first place. Huh? Look. This why you got Zillion now, Chloe, they all came together. This why you don't see these two when they leave. And look, 213. This at 213, right? Look at Chloe and Zillion now on the footage. All he just got to do is put his hoodie on. He'll be a big nigga in all black. Look, won't he be the big nigga that's in all black and say, yeah, she left with some friend when friends came, went up to the room? That's who gonna be with him, Chloe. That's why he went hard on the mama. The way that man went hard on the mama, we felt offended. Who is you to talk about Mother Teresa like this? Shit, he had every reason to. And I don't blame him. Because he ain't did nothing but told the truth about Miss Teresa. And she sold her daughter to the organ harvesting people, and she never cared about her. That's all his narrative was, and that coming to find out that's the truth. At the beginning, I'm talking about before the surveillance footage came out, all this before the surveillance footage came out. I really heard, bruh, watch this. Look, boom, they come in, bam, 213. This why they didn't want nobody to watch the footage. Boom. Mm-mm. Bro, the way they turned around, they knew this camera was recording. And them folks turned around, bro. Boom. Now they come back and they go Kenny. Leading the pack. They go Kenny. There he go. Kenny. What's finna happen at 2:30? My bad, y'all. I got the munchies. Now I see why they popping up on the footage. Right at what time Mr. Reese would be talking. Oh. So the way they got this footage paused, I be sitting here like when I used to first watch the footage on YouTube, I used to see her, I'm like, damn, them mother pause for a minute. So I calculate, I want to know how long it's going to be paused and when the camera pick up again. Because that's the T. Because nobody don't look at it like this here. Oh, I see the time skip. Let's see how long it's going to stay frozen and see what time it's going to pick up at. So once I start figuring it out, like, okay, this time skip this certain time and the camera will be cut off around about this time. Let me go to another camera, like a camera down here, and see would this support that. Because once you get the editing, none of these cameras finna match up. You see what I'm saying? None of it gonna match up. So boom, now you 225, right on point. So that means if you got Kenneka brother just came in and you got her cousin roaming the hall, and that's when she would come out the hotel room allegedly, right? Ain't that's the way the court paper was saying? Yeah, Miss Teresa, think twice before you even snitch of how she came out of there. But look. But you know what this look like? This look like when they get the call. Come down here. If you listen to everybody YouTube, they said even Fresh K, the dude in all black, the guys in the hoodie, and her friends place her in a trash bag. So we got him going down there first. So that means that's what he finna do. Go place her in a trash bag. But this will throw everybody off, cause they got us believing Kenneka will be walking right downstairs, heading towards the lower level kitchen. You see what I'm saying? So everybody thinking the girl's still alive and walking, and she really not. They really finna go put the girl in the trash bag. Cause this when they get the call. If I felt like, if I was in on this stuff and I felt like the police were up to something, yeah, I feel like how Miss Teresa feel. If you got her and her family down there in the middle of the covering up and staging the event. She will always hold that above Crown Plaza head with that camera above that freezer. So look, you saw Fresh K went downstairs, gave access to the people downstairs in the kitchen. They finna go bust the move. Boom, on the phone.
Although we're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation, but we have gathered, fortunately, more video than they initially released, and it gives us a better picture of what was going on around the hotel. Amazingly, it seems to me that there were hotel staff that I would expect she should have encountered because she was in their actual operating kitchen. She was in several hotels. And we can see in various portions of the video footage employees that would have been in some of the same rooms that she was in as she kind of went through the rooms.
So you see that they would have been in the same rooms. Did you see any interaction between her and hotel staff in the footage that you watched?
I did not see any interaction, and we'll have to follow up with identifying the names of those employees to see exactly what they saw. But again, in the kitchen, for instance, you see someone in there mopping the kitchen. Also in the kitchen, you see someone who appears to be preparing some food. These are people who you would expect to have encountered her or at a minimum.
And let's keep that in mind. This when Kenneka gonna be downstairs in the basement. And this is where the family going. So guess who all will be on the surveillance for the staff, Kenneka in the bag, and family member. And police. And Tucson.
Seeing her, she went through the kitchen area.
So were they
Between the hours of 2 and 3. So watch this.
seen in the same frames as Kenneka, or they're just seen in other video in the kitchen around the same time? I'm just trying to piece together whether or not they actually may have laid eyes on her.
I cannot say that they laid eyes on her because they are not in the same frame.
Okay.
Again, that's going to require further investigation, but those are some of the things that we're looking into.
There's a man who says that he's working with the family, Andrew Holmes, who's a community activist. He claims that the police department actually showed him some video, and that in that video he saw Kenneka walking into the freezer. Did you see any of that in the video that you were shown?
We did not, and that...
Now, this is how that would have sound. You mean to tell me he said it was employees in the kitchen still cooking and preparing food and walked by the employee? And Andrew Holmes come and say, yup, and she walked in the freezer alone. That ain't finna go together. That ain't finna go together, bro. So why this?
Was a huge bone of contention, quite frankly. It's not clear to us why they showed video footage to anyone other than the family, before the family, and then that claim that he saw her walk into the freezer on video was something we requested and never received, and it appears that was not accurate.
There's also, as we watch this video, obviously when we see Kenneka in the video earlier in the night versus the way we see her walking, she's clearly impaired later on in the evening. I know her mom says that friends said she had, quote, 1 cup. What was that 1 cup of? Was it alcohol? Is the thinking that perhaps that may have been laced with something?
Yeah, that's something that we have not been able to verify or validate yet. She is disoriented as you see her walk through the hallways, and that should have been apparent to anyone who encountered her. Let me also point out, you mentioned video footage of the kitchen. That is not the kitchen where she was ultimately found. She was found in an abandoned kitchen that apparently has not been used for years, but for some unknown reason, the hotel left available and accessible, and for an even stranger reason, they seem to leave a freezer on in the back corner of that abandoned kitchen. So those are things, trying to figure out exactly why it was accessible at all, and then secondly, why that freezer was on.
Right, and I know those are answers you're trying to get from the hotel. I want to point out we've reached out to the hotel as well. We have not.
Now y'all heard that. Now listen to this one.
Who were involved in the tragic death of Kenneka Jenkins on September the 9th, 2017. The facts and circumstances regarding Kenneka's death are not entirely clear. That's primarily because there have been no adequate answers given for why or how Kenneka was not identified or found wandering in the Crown Plaza Hotel on the early morning hours of September 9th. Why and how, although video surveillance cameras clearly indicate that Kenneka was wandering into an area under construction that had a operating walk-in freezer.
So why he ain't mentioning about the employee that was in the kitchen like Larry Rogers? Y'all see how the game going now? Look, check this out. He ain't saying nothing about the employee that was in the kitchen round about this time in the morning. Oh, so if you put Larry Rogers' story of her in the kitchen with employees, then you got to place the family there because you see them in the area. Where is she going to be at? Then we know about the trash bag store. Now we know who really placed her in that freezer.
And cooler. And why and how, in spite of the fact that Kenneka's family and friends were at the hotel from the moment she disappeared until the moment her body was found. Almost a...
Did he say the family was at the hotel when she came up missing? Tell me that y'all heard that part again.
The moment her body operating into an area under construction that had a operating walk-in freezer and cooler. And why and how, in spite of the fact that Kenneka's family and friends were at the hotel from the moment she disappeared until the
moment she disappeared. We got Leonora on the footage, Kenny on the footage, where Miss Teresa at. We know she here somewhere. She on that phone. Hold up.
Moment her body was found, almost a full day later, more than a full day later. Why this tragedy unfolded. Kenneka, as you know, came to the hotel as a guest in the early morning hours of September the 9th. She apparently was intoxicated and wandered from the room and wandered throughout the hotel. Video surveillance at the hotel clearly shows Kenneka.
Oh, look at the surveillance footage, what it's showing. Exactly what he talking about. Golly. And then look.
Wandering throughout the hotel at approximately 3:30, and I'm not being exact. Video surveillance shows her entering.
Uh-oh. Y'all, let's go to 3:30. We got to go to 3:30, gang. Look, let's go to 3:30. Oh, shit. I want to start from 3 o'clock. Boy, this shit finna get serious, gang. Look. Oh, shit.
Kitchen area that's under construction. That's the Murray Brothers Caddyshack restaurant that's now been open since that time. That kitchen, the door was unsecured. The walk-in freezer and refrigerator were obviously unlocked. And at some point, Kenneka walked into the freezer. The door closed behind her, and over a period of hours, she froze to death. What's very concerning is that we have evidence.
Hold on. They got evidence. Watch this. Trey Gang finna bust him up with the biggest receipt in the world. Did Larry Rogers said Kenneka will be in the kitchen with employees and she walked right past them? Thumb me up right now. Right? That's what the lawyer just said. Now, when here go the other lawyer. Guess what he said? And we got surveillance footage of who locked the freezer. Video evidence. So if you put Larry Rogers when her in the outlook and her downstairs in the kitchen in a body bag with family members, you know what I'm saying, in the kitchen, then add his narrative when they say we got video surveillance footage who actually locked the freezer. So if you got that surveillance footage, you got the beginning to everybody loading her up in there. So that's why Miss Teresa holding that against Rosemont. Yeah, tell me about that camera above that freezer. Cause it ain't directly above that freezer. It's the camera that we saw them when they entered the freezer. Cause that's where they're gonna be at, staging their scene. Man, bro, look, watch this.
That at some point, because she was clearly on video surveillance, at some point that somebody secured the doors to the kitchen area and to the freezer compartment where she died.
And guess what time that is? Check this out. Let's skip to what time they will be locking the doors. We know he's finna lie about this shit right here. Hold on. He finna lie about
Getting
this
out
shit.
if it's pressed.
Hold on.
That the freezer door has a lock on it.
So let me rephrase this. He finna show everybody the wrong cooler though. He finna show everybody these photos of the wrong cooler though. Don't think about these photos yet. Just listen to what he's saying. All he's saying is they got video camera. They locked Kenneka in the freezer and left her in the freezer. And hours later, they looked on the footage and be like, damn, we locked her in the freezer. Guess what time he said they would shut the whole hotel down when they locked the freezer? Going on 5 something in the morning. That's why Straight Drop came up with the ice machine killer. Cause that's what the footage he was showing round about 5 something, you know what I'm saying, on the lower level in the kitchen. So look, he ain't smart like I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Cause look what all this finna show on the footage that finna leave up to 3:30.
This is a lock that you can prevent somebody from the inside from getting out if it's pressed. And we believe.
Hold up. And what Miss Teresa said about the call at 4:30, you could just scratch that off the list. That ain't even nothing to talk about no more. What call Miss Teresa will be getting at 4:34? Not when they talking about Kenneka missing. Shit. That's what she lied to. Y'all really believe that lady got the call at 4:34 in the morning, sleep in the purr? Do y'all believe that? I got the call at 4:34. I just had breast surgery. You know, I'm sedated off the drugs, and you know what I'm saying? All right then. If we know that's a lie, why keep feeling that lie then?
That it's very possible that this door, for reasons that we cannot explain, without ever looking in the freezer, someone came and locked this freezer door.
What time?
So that Kenneka could not exit.
What time
the
though?
door. Now, there have not been adequate answers.
What time?
That have been provided by the Crown Plaza Hotel. We have the police report. We have what they've described to us as the video, and the most revealing place on the video is that we see Kenneka entering this kitchen that it was under construction at 3:30. We know that the Crown Plaza and the security company knew that she was missing at that very time, that they were reporting to the family that they were doing their...
And they were reporting to the family at the time the girl was missing. Just like what the court paper said Miss Teresa will be there. At what time? Communicating with who?
Best time that they were reporting to the family that they were doing their best to find her. All they had to do was look on the video, and they would see that Kenneka was wandering the hotel, and they would see that she had wandered into.
Here go your proof. Ain't they finna go downstairs to where Kenneka in the basement? And that's what he said. They got surveillance camera proof at 3:30. Proof at 3:30. Don't forget that. Who going down there? Who on the phone? Bree. You know who she talking to. Yeah. He said they got video proof. Somebody locking the freezer. Round about this time, ain't it?
To the kitchen. There is no explanation that we've received at this time why Crown Plaza, why the security company, and why the Caddyshack Murray Brothers restaurant didn't do anything for nearly a day.
So what about the lawyer when Larry Rogers said? Larry Rogers said she would be in the kitchen around 3-some. Look who all going into the kitchen at 3-some. Wow. Look who all will be going in that area at 3-some to put somebody in the freezer. With video proof. This is like, look, boom. Look where they going to. To the lower level where she is, like he said.
And a half. And that her body supposedly lay there until it was allegedly discovered, I believe, at about 12:30 a.m. the next day. And by the way, then her body stayed there for nearly 5 hours while the family waited to find out what had happened to Kenneka. So we expect to get all that information during this pretrial discovery process. The complaint's been filed. The defendants have an opportunity now to answer the complaint. And we will get in due time a full incident reports filed by these defendants plus their insurance companies. We'll get the videotape. They say they've given it to us, but we want to make sure we have all of it. We will get all of their reports, and we'll be able to take the testimony of the security guards and all the Crown Plaza employees so that we fully understand why this tragedy occurred and how it can be prevented. What's most concerning about this case right now from our perspective is the Crown Plaza knew immediately, not many hours later, immediately. She was reported by her friends and then her family, and her family was there at the Crown Plaza on at least 3 occasions, camping out to the point where the Crown Plaza called the police on the family because
when he say camping out, I know what camping out means. Look how everybody had to stay there till the investigation was over with. That's camping out. And they so low down, they put that girl in the freezer and let that girl stay in that freezer that long. That's dirty, bruh.
the family was so concerned about Kenneka's whereabouts. Why, under these circumstances, when Kenneka is clearly visible on security cameras, walking into an area where she was eventually found later frozen to death, what happened at this point? That's a mystery that will unfold during the processes. It'll generally take several years to resolve this case, and I appreciate it. If you've got any questions, I'll be free to answer them. And Teresa, would be available to answer just briefly any questions you have.
Mr. Fire, could you explain the mechanism on the freezer again?
Sure. This is right here is a lock. It can be pressed down and it can secure the door, preventing anybody from the inside from exiting. It would effectively lock this door. And we believe that that door may have been locked from the outside because there's no other explanation why her body wasn't discovered. It's very possible that security people at the hotel knew she was missing, just looked into the kitchen under construction, saw that it wasn't secured, and started locking the doors and then left, and came back later to find, well, we've just locked in Kenneka.
Look how everybody in that location. You see what I'm saying? So when he told everybody, oh, we got video proof of when they locked her in there. So look, they had to lock that girl in there round about this time. Round about this time, damn near 4 o'clock or right after at 3:30. You see what I'm saying? 2 hours later, they talk about a missing person report on the police frequency. 2 hours after that, Miss Teresa calling 911. Man, this shit crazy.
So you're not saying that you believe that they did this on purpose?
No, there's absolutely no evidence that anybody did anything on purpose, and I don't believe it. There'd be no reason to do it. I think it's pure and utter negligence. No suggestion whatsoever that anybody did harm to Teresa on purpose. What's more likely is that through pure negligence, someone noticed that the doors in the kitchen were open. They locked them like they should have been locked.
Okay.
They locked the freezer, and unfortunately, they locked Kenneka into the freezer.
All right. Since you said that, now we got to go back to this. Because I want to hear that your mouth. Then I want to hear this same shit.
Own investigation. What have you learned?
Well, we're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation, but we have gathered personally more video than they initially released, and it gives us a better picture of what was going on around the hotel. Amazingly, it seems to me that there were hotel staff that I would expect she should have encountered because she was in there.
Y'all see this? If she walked in, look at the timestamp on this footage and look at the narrative, he finna say, look, he finna mention employees. This how they lock the freezer. If you take that lock the freezer theory, when the family been there, and take Larry Roger narrative, when she was in the freezer, they was all right there locking her in the freezer.
Her actual operating kitchen. She was in several hotels. And we can see in various portions of the video footage employees that would have been in some of the same rooms that she was in as she kind of went through the rooms.
So you see that they would have been in the same rooms. Did you see any interaction between her and hotel staff in the footage that you watched?
I did not see any interaction, and we'll have to follow up with identifying the names of those employees to see exactly what they saw. But again, in the kitchen, for instance, you see someone in there mopping the kitchen. Also in the kitchen, you see someone who appears to be preparing some food. These are people who you would expect to have encountered her or at a minimum seen her as she went through the kitchen area.
So were they seen in the same frames as Kenneka, or they're just seen in other video in the kitchen around the same time? I'm just trying to piece together whether or not they actually may have laid eyes on her.
I cannot say that they laid eyes on her because they are not in the same frame.
Okay.
Again, that's going to require further investigation, but those are some of the things that we're looking into.
There's a man who says that he's working with the family, Andrew Holmes, who's a community activist. He claims that the police department actually showed him some video, and that in that video he saw Kenneka walking into the freezer. Did you see any of that in the video that you were shown?
We did not, and that was a huge bone of contention, quite frankly. It's unclear to us why they showed video footage to anyone other than the family, before the family, and then that claim that he saw her walk into the freezer on video was something we requested and never received, and it appears that was not accurate.
There's also, as we watch this video, obviously when we see Kenneka in the video earlier in the night versus the way we see her walking, she's clearly impaired later on in the evening. I know her mom says that friends said she had, quote, 1 cup. What was that 1 cup of? Was it alcohol? Is the thinking that perhaps that may have been laced with something?
Yeah, that's something that we have not been able to verify or validate yet. She is disoriented as you see her walk through the hallways, and that should have been apparent to anyone who encountered her. Let me also point out, you mentioned video footage of the kitchen. That is not the kitchen where she was ultimately found. She was found in an abandoned kitchen that apparently has not been used for years, but for some unknown reason, the hotel left available and accessible, and for an even stranger reason, they seem to leave a freezer on in the back corner of that abandoned kitchen. So those are things, trying to figure out exactly why it was accessible at all, and then secondly, why that freezer was on.
Right, and I know those are answers you're trying to get from the hotel. I want to point out we've reached out to the hotel as well.
About me, I could tell you how the freezer came on, because I seen allegedly Carl Nesbitt up there headed toward the freezer. That's how the junk get on. So the long story short, when they were placing her in the freezer, it was staff members down there, the video camera seeing all this. So the lawyer gonna protect the Crown Plaza say, well, they were preparing food. But the other lawyer thought enough to be like, well, we ain't gonna mention them. I'm gonna just mention that we got video somebody locking the freezer, never disclosed their person. And Miss Risa never sued the hotel for Kenneka. I thought she was suing the hotel for justice for Kenneka. Come to find out, she really didn't have nothing. Check this out. Look at it like this here. Teresa didn't have nothing on the hotel that can work in her favor. So she just had to sue these folks for neglect. They're just like you at a hotel and y'all on the lick and they fucked you out the lick and you like, well, I'm finna get my money. Look, well, I see a lot of houses around here. You got all this shit and shit. This, I could sue you for this. I'm finna sue you like that and get my money. You see what I'm saying? She really sued the hotel for neglect and used her daughter's name. Is that's the reason why they suing the hotel? They using her name is just, bruh, this stuff is crazy. They using that girl's name to make it seem like the lawsuit is about her, but it's really about neglect. How trifling they is in the basement. And just use Kenneka's name to fuck over us. Look. Footage still rolling. This 340. I want to know what this shit finna be showing. Look. No wonder. And these people had to be on the stand and testify how trifling and unsafe the basement is. Not about how Kenneka walked in there. Not about the drugs in her system, the meekness, kidneys, and the drug empire. None of that. It's all about these people don't put locks on freezer doors and secure their area. But check this out. Go back to the letter right here. No wonder why this shit freezing up now. See, shit just freezing. So boom, now it's finna be 4 o'clock. It's finna be 4 o'clock. Now you finna see when they place the girl in the freezer. Now you see why Miss Teresa saying, yeah, I got to call at 4:34. Yeah, when you place her in the freezer. You see what I'm saying? Soon you gotta do placing that girl in the freezer. Then when you want to tell everybody, yeah, I got to call at 4:34. I'm glad you mentioned it. And let that girl stay there. Let that girl stay in there and plan on the road. So every time we saw Miss Teresa on that footage in the family claiming they up there because they ain't trying to show them no surveillance camera, they giving them the run around. It was the other way around, bro. It was the other way around. Cause it sounded like it was more cooperation with the cover with the police than anything. That's why Lyra Norris said in the beginning, yeah, when my mama came up here around about 4 something, that's when they're gonna be in the pool area. In the pool area, bruh. So if you read this, boom. Look. In the Caddyshack restaurant. Look what will be going on in the Caddyshack restaurant. What the lawyer said with the employees in the kitchen. What French Cave said in the kitchen. So French K's story collaborating with Larry Rogers' story. Yeah, it was employees in the kitchen. French K said, yeah, we were putting her in the freezer. So this would fit the narrative because we see who we needed to see to go down there. And then just on this camera. Man, we need to go to the back door, the side door. We need to go to every floor we can get. Boom. That's why Shemaya and them will be going back and forth to the pool area. At 4 in the morning. Hi y'all. Now y'all see that? That's what I just want to show y'all on that camera alone. Now look, I'm finna end this live and I'm gonna go live later on and it's just gonna be an open platform. So y'all stay tuned for that. I appreciate all the thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? And everybody sharing and caring. Cause we got tea on this channel and we need to light these suckers up. Cause, man, these people really thought they can get away with this. Like, they thought this gonna be forever. No. We finna make a change, goddamn. Man, look. Trey Gang to be back. Trey Gang love y'all. Appreciate everybody for their love and their support. And I'm gonna give y'all some shout outs too. The ones that been holding me down. 10 toes. Like a Cadillac on 4 flats. Yeah. Until then, We'll be back